Hi, everyone. I just wanted to talk to you today about spiritual causes for depression. Depression is something a lot of people deal with all the time, right? Something that is very common nowadays, which is sad. And I've compiled some points about why we could possibly be going through depression, the spiritual causes, or the causes that we don't necessarily think about because it's something that is so, I guess, it's not something that's really thought about many times because we see it as something that is caused by a physical situation or a tangible reason or something that we've gone through in our own lives, but it is something that is metaphysical and spiritual in nature. Okay, so the first point of depression and why we could be going through depression. Okay, of course, I just don't want to discourage you from looking into the very physical reasons for depression, like, your mental health and your body, and of course, looking into the things that you've gone through, your traumas that you've experienced, and different issues that could lead to or cause depression. I don't want to discourage that. But of course, there are things that we cannot seem to figure out why, right? I know for me, it's some things that I just could not figure out why I was going through this over and over again, despite all of my hard work to release myself of it. So anyway, let's get into it. So the first point as to why you could possibly be going through depression or feeling depressed many of the times is a disconnect with your higher self, your true spiritual self, or choosing to disconnect from your true self, your higher power. Okay, because let's just be honest, the way that life is and the way that life is created, okay, the nature of life and the things that we have to experience, it can be very, very hard. It can be really, really hard. It can be very, very taxing. Emotionally and mentally, it can be very, very taxing on ourselves and on our soul and on our bodies. And, you know, if we are just to derive, especially in my last video, I was talking about low self-esteem, confidence, and worth. And if we were to derive our self and the meaning of life based on just what other people have said or they've done or how they treated us or our experiences, it's just going to leave us very depressed because a lot of it is not pretty, a lot of it is not comfortable, a lot of it is not, it sucks. Let's put it that way. It sucks. So if you are not connected with yourself, your spirit, your spiritual self, and your power, okay? The life force that brought you here, that gave you life, if you're not connected with that, okay, you are going to find yourself being cut off by your power, your true power, okay? Because life force is lively, it's life, it's power, it's exciting, it's joyful, it's empowering, okay? This is the life force. And if you're cutting yourself off from that, what do you think you're going to be feeling? Low, down, depressed, hopeless, powerless, depressed. I mean, that's what it is. If you're cutting yourself off, whether you know it or not, whether you are aware of it or not, you're cutting yourself off from your own power. You're going to be depressed, and your spirit is not going to be allowed to shine. Your spirit is not going to be allowed to shine and to empower you to live your life and to be the person you're meant to be, right? As your spiritual self, okay? You're going to be cutting yourself off from what it is that you are and who you truly are. And are when you are embodying something or not embodying what you are, that's going to cause a disconnect in yourself, in your soul. That's going to cause a disconnect, and that's going to wreak havoc on you mentally and emotionally and physically, because everything's connected. So you are not going to be able to embody your true self with it, which is powerful, limitless, joyful, creative, um, love. And that's just going to leave you depressed. Okay? But anyway, that's just what I see. Another point is that another reason why you could be depressed is because you are living inauthentically. So going back to what I was saying, kind of about what embodying your true self, spiritual self, or being connected to your true self. If you are living inauthentically, that means you are not living in the way that your soul intended or your spirit intended, with what you came here to do, what you came here to be, with who you are. Even, more on the practical side, like with your beliefs and your attitudes and your beliefs, your attitudes, your ideals, your morals. Even on that level, if you are not living the way you humanistically think you should live, that's going to create a serious problem within you mentally and emotionally, because there's a disconnect. But more so, if you go deeper, if there's a disconnect with who you are spiritually, like I said, but you are living a life of this disconnect, of this misalignment with your truth, okay, with your spiritual truth, with your truth as a person, with your true self, your higher self, um, it's going to create depression, because basically you're dishonoring yourself. You're dishonoring the very reason why you're here. You're dishonoring your uniqueness. You're dishonoring your power. You're dishonoring what you're supposed to be. If you're not going to be who you're meant to be, well, then who the heck are you? That's going to create a lot of pain. And ultimately, that's going to cause a lot of depression. Okay? So, you know, I know specifically, I mean, I cannot at all point out and speak of things that I cannot relate to. So I've already experienced this within myself. And of course, everybody's different, but what I'm saying is our true spiritual self, we all have that commonality of our true spiritual self, because we come from the same place. So if you are not living in alignment with your spirit, which is the real you, the real you, doesn't matter about your human self. It doesn't matter about, your personality and the way you physically look, and you live over here and I live over here. Your spirit, if you're not encompassing what it is your spirit came to be and to live, you're going to be depressed, because that is the purpose of life. We came here to live a purpose. And if you're not living it, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be depressed. You really are. Okay? Misalignment is what's going to cause depression. The next point is repression of energies. Okay? Repression of certain energies, negative energies. So that means that whether you're creating it or whether it is you're absorbing it, but the point is that you have all this energy that you are repressing. In other words, I guess you would say that it's something, not I guess. In other words, the things that you are not dealing with or coming to terms with or releasing or purging within yourself is going to create depression, especially if it's a lot of negative energy. negative energy about yourself, about life, about other people, this is what's going to cause depression. Because if there's something that needs to be dealt with and acknowledged, and you're not acknowledging it within yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you're not taking the spiritual lessons and applying it to your life, your spirit and your soul is going to be well, not depressed. Your spirit and soul cannot be depressed. You humanistically are going to be feeling the effects of not embodying your spirit and not listening to your spirit and not doing what it is that your spirit wants you to do, okay? Because of this repression or denial or uh, not acknowledging of what it is that you need to learn or whatever it is you need to release. Okay, because your thoughts are energy, your attitudes are energy, your beliefs are energy. It's all energy. And if you just keep repressing, you don't think you'll be depressed? Especially if it's unforgiveness, if it's anger, if it's um, low self-esteem and feeling as though you are not worth anything or feeling like life is not worth living, you're going to be depressed. Think about all that energy being repressed inside of you over and over again, time and time again. That's going to create some serious issues. There's going to be a misalignment with your true self. You're not aligning yourself with your true self because you want to hang on to and hold on to all this stuff that you think you know or you've seen or you've experienced or what you think the truth is about yourself, that, going back to the other point, is not even true. You want to hold on to all that is not what your spirit wants you to hold on to. So if you're going to keep holding on to it and compressing it and packing it down there, and you're not dealing with certain things, you're not dealing with your ideas about yourself or beliefs, you're not dealing with you're not looking at your life and seeing that, okay, something needs to be done here, I need to fix something here, I need to change something over here, and you're just continuing to go through what it is you need to go through, and yet your spirit is trying to communicate something to you. And I find that when your spirit's trying to communicate something to you and you're not listening, it's going to get worse. However it manifests, it's going to get worse, okay? And your spirit is going to communicate to you through depression, amidst other things that you can, amidst other things that it wants to, however it wants to get your attention. But it's going to communicate to you with you feeling depressed because you're not listening and you're repressing and you're holding it back and you're being stubborn or you're being unwilling. You're going to be depressed. Okay? So I just ultimately think, I'm not done yet, but ultimately I think it's just a matter of repressing energies and repressing or not acknowledging, denying, and pushing back what it is that you really need to learn and what you need to integrate and what you need to heal within yourself. That's ultimately healing. It's just acknowledging what it is that you need to acknowledge and learning the lessons from what it is that you experienced. Then you experience healing. If you don't do that, and you have issue and issue and issue and issue piling on top of each other over and over again, it's going to create depression. It's going to create a depression. There's certain things that the spirit brings to light and you don't listen to it, it's going to create depression. If you live inauthentically to your truth, to who you are spiritually, to who you are, even just humanistically, what you stand for, what you believe, and what you know is true for you and right for you, and you live inauthentically to that, that's going to create depression. If you have a disconnect with yourself, your spiritual self, if you have an unawareness of your spiritual self, that's going to cause depression. That's really truly what I believe is depression. It's just being misaligned or being disconnected or not or not not learning your lessons, the lessons that you need to learn, that spirit is bringing to light, that life is bringing to light, that can cause depression. The next point is, I always speak about chakras. Every video I speak about chakras. A block or weakened solar plexus chakra and or sacral chakra and or a crown chakra can create depression. And I will speak about that in other videos. Okay? But yeah, so those are the reasons why. Those are the reasons why I believe that, the deeper reasons for depression, deeper reasons for depression. Of course, we have to take into account if someone just died that we really loved, of course that can create depression, because you really love that person. That can cause short-term depression. Or you lost your position and it was something that you defined yourself by. So you feel like you lost your sense of self. That can create depression too. But it depends on your state of awareness. It depends on your state of awareness and, you know, what you believe to be true about you. So of course, you can be depressed, but the deeper reasons are these ones that I've mentioned here. But that's just what I believe, and that's what I've experienced within my own life, and I've seen it in my own life and other people's lives, and yeah. So hopefully that resonated, or there's a point that you didn't really think about so much, and possibly that gave you some insight into something. But anyway, I thought the video would be quite helpful. It's helpful to me. So anyway, that's about it. I'll be making some other videos soon, so take care. Have a good day.